Hi, I would like to introduce you to the great horses of Japan. Now, I'd like to explain, again with eating Japanese snacks. This time is Mejirol'Amone. Mejirol'Amone is a female horse born in 1983. Her father is Mogami and her mother is Mejiro. Mogami was born in France and has 3 wins in 20 races. He did not have a good race record, but after his retirement he was imported to Japan and became a successful stallion. Mogami was co-owned horse by Simbali Farm and Mejiro Farm. His foals are characterized by abundant stamina and run with a lot of power. On the other hand, they lack instantaneous power, and most of the foals are also very temperamental. But in horse racing, star horses are often born from horses with fierce temperaments. Mejiro is a 6-time winner during her career. Her brother is Mejiro Eagle. Mejiro Eagle is the father of Mejiro Palmer, winner of 2 Grand Prix races. Thus, Mejirol'Amone pedigree is full of Mejironess. L'Amone is one of the peaks of the Alps. In my past videos, I have referred to it as Mejirol'Amone, but this is my lack of research. I will correct and introduce L'Amone from now on. On October 13, 1985, Mejirol'Amone ran her debut race. This race was 1,400 meters on dirt. She became the overwhelming favorite with odds of 1.4. She led right from the start with a different level of speed ability, and in the final stretch, she opened up a bigger and bigger gap to the rest of the field. And when she crossed the finish line, the difference between her and the second-place finisher was 3.1 seconds, a victory by about 20 lengths. Next she competed in the Grade 2 Keisei Cup, where she finished 4th out of 5 horses. From the words alone, it looks like she lost a lot, but there is not much difference between her and the horse in front, not enough to be pessimistic. After this race, she developed periosteitis and other problems that prevented her from training, but she quickly recovered and raced in the listed race 4 weeks later. She won this race easily, breaking away from the pack ahead of her. 2 weeks later, she competed in the Grade 3 2-year-old mare stakes. She quickly overtook Dinah Ferry, who had been ahead of her in the final stretch, to win by 3.5 lengths. The race was 1,600 meters, and Mejirol'Amone's winning time was 1 minute 34.9 seconds, an exceptional time for the time. She won 3 of 4 races and was named Best 2-year-old Filly of the Year. Mejirol'Amone rested for a short time and resumed training in late January. She then ran in the Grade 3 Queen Cup on January 26. Her odds were 1.2, making her the overwhelming favorite, but she was terribly excited before the race, which sapped her stamina. This caused her to stall around the entrance to the final stretch and she lost in 4th place. Her jockey commented that he did not know why she lost because she had a good response on the last corner. Mejirol'Amone was already considered the star of the classic races at this time. On March 16, she competed in the Grade 2 Oka Show trial race. She had always raced in the leading group, but this was the first time she had raced in the back group. She gradually moved up in position, but was affected by the horse in front who stalled and dropped back. dropping to near the rear of the field on the final turn. But she reaccelerated from there, narrowly overtaking the horse in front just before the finish line to take the win. On April 6, the first of the classic races for female horses, Oka Show. Mejirol'Amone was the favorite at odds of 1.6 and raced in the middle group. Then she gradually accelerated in the third corner and gained positions. She took the lead early in the final stretch and held on to the lead to win by a length and 3/4 over the chasing pack. This was Mejiro Farm's first classic race victory. Her next target was the Oaks, but the 2 races she has lost so far have both been on the Tokyo course. And it was on the same Tokyo course that the Oaks will be held. Therefore, she decided to compete in the Oaks trial race, also will be held on the Tokyo course. She had her first confrontation with Dynat Actress here. Dynat Actress is another mare with the ability to represent this generation. She had won a strong race as a 2-year-old and had attracted attention, but was out of action due to injury. In the Oaks trial race, Dynat Actress took the lead in the final stretch. But from behind her, Mejirol'Amone attacked her. Lamone overtook Actress and finished first. Thus, she conquered the Tokyo course and was in perfect condition to challenge the Oaks. However, there had been no case of a horse winning the Oaks trial winning the Oaks, and this was somewhat of a concern. But it was only a jinx. Mejirol'Amone was the favorite with odds of 1.8. She got tripped up at the start and fell behind a bit, but gradually improved her position as she rounded the corners. By the time she rounded the last corner, she had already moved up to about 5th position from the leader. And she quickly jumped to the lead in the final stretch. She opened a gap on the rest of the field and won by about 2.5 lengths. Her win in this Oaks was rated quite strong. The double tiara with Oka Show and Oaks victories was the first time in a decade that this had been accomplished. Now, if she wins the Queen Elizabeth Cup in the fall, she will achieve her first ever Triple Tiara. Avoiding the hot summer, she returned to Mejiro Farm to rest. She then resumed training in August at Hakodate Racecourse in Hokkaido. But from this point on, she was not doing well, suffering summer fatigue and an accidental hoof injury from stepping on a hard stone. As a trial race for the Queen Elizabeth Cup, she was originally scheduled to compete in the Queen Stakes in September, but her training was not going well, so the race was changed to the Rose Stakes in October. In the Rose Stakes, which she felt she managed to win in time, Mejirol'Amone raced in the middle of the pack. She tried to break away on the final stretch, but was unable to pass the Potesco lady in front of her and they raced to the finish line. But in the end she finished first. Although she managed to win, her condition was not the best for the subsequent race day of the Queen Elizabeth Cup on November 2nd. However, with hopes of achieving the first ever Triple Tiara, the odds for Mejirol'Amone were a whopping 1.3. When the race started, she was 4th to 5th from the front. She accelerated around the third turn, but with about 800 meters to go to the finish, this was considered a bit too fast. But she took the lead in the final stretch and extended her lead. As expected, she stalled a bit at the end, but she held off a horse that had been chasing behind her to win the race and achieve the Triple Tiara. She also won all of her trial races, making her a perfect Triple Tiara. She also won 6 consecutive graded races, from the Oka Show trial to the Queen Elizabeth Cup, a new record at the time. Her future was anticipated, but it was decided that she would retire after the Arimakinen at the end of the year. She was voted 3rd in the Arimakinen fan vote, behind Miho Shinzen and Sakura Utakado. And on race day, she was the 2nd favorite behind Miho Shinzen. But she stalled in the final stretch and finished 9th, her worst finish to date. This is the end of her racing career. She was named Best 3-Year-Old Mare. However, she was not named Horse of the Year. The Horse of the Year was Dinah Gulliver, a Derby winner the same age as her who beat her to win the Arima Kinen. Now, with very great expectations, Mejirol'Amone became a broodmare. But in contrast to her outstanding competitive career, foals have had little success. On the contrary, none of the horses ran in the open class. Sad to say, the results were disappointing. Then in 2005, she died of old age. She was 22 years old. She did not have good results as a broodmare, but her pedigree lives on. Field Rouge, who won the Kawasaki Kinen in 2008, is a great-grandson of Mejirol'Amone. In addition, Glory Vase, winner of the Hong Kong Vase in 2019 and 2021, is also a great-grandson of Mejirol'Amone. Thus, the blood of a great mare can shine through generations. That's all for this time. If you want to know more about Japanese horses, subscribe to this channel. Thank you.